Hello, hello, hello. Okay, moms, dads, teach your children the real law. Teach them the real law. Pause the video right here and you show them the image and let them know the real law so that they are safe from government encroachment and from attacks against the people. So they are safe. So they know the law. They're smart, okay, and full of wisdom. All right, you can pause it. So I'm going to explain this for those who may not be familiar with maxims. All right, here. Maxims of law are settled law in all civilized nations. They're accepted. They're not argued against because they're already settled. They're taken as is, okay? So if you take one of these maxims and apply them to a situation that you have to deal with, then you are doing something that you have to win because you're applying it to your case. If it matches, if it goes with your issue that you have and you use the right maxim, there it is. It's settled. The judge has to take it. It's accepted law. Now, in other countries, they have kings and queens, monarchs, right? And they have a different form of government. So they have maxims that are written up that apply really to them because they have that structure of government. Here in America, we have the best structure, the best form of government in the world. This is the best. The problem that we don't see that it's the best is because, okay, there was a united effort by many unfaithful servants and their friends, their pals, to make it so that the people knew less and less and less about the form of government, about their own powers and authorities, and about the relationship we have between the people who are the government workers and ourselves. We don't know what relationship we have in place. Well, here it is. In the United States of America, we have things called constitutions. You know about constitutions. There are 51 of them. They're active. They're all active. 51. There are 50 state constitutions and one federal constitution. They're contracts, express trust indentures. They have terms in those contracts that must be complied by government servants. They have to comply with those contracts. If they don't, they're liable for their conduct to you. If they trespass against your individual inherent rights, they are liable to you for that conduct. If you have to know how to petition the government, the good government servants in place, because there are good ones, faithful ones, and there are unfaithful ones, the ones that are in breach of trust, the ones that are not in breach of trust, the ones that are performing their duties and obligations according to the contract, in pursuance of the contract. And they're fine. And now they are required, and it's mandatory, that they give us redress for our grievances. What grievances do you have? Well, if you have been trespassed against by any government agency, any government servant, you can petition. Doesn't mean that you sign a petition with a million signatures. That's not the word. It's you ask. You put it in place so that they can begin the process of restoring you, giving you the redress for your grievances. Okay? They are to give it to you. All right? What it is, if your house was taken, if your children were taken, if you couldn't see people in the hospital, you do these proper notices and affidavits, you do them correctly, you use maxims of law, and this is one of them. When you do things correctly, you're going to get the right result. You're going to get justice. Okay, but you have to know how it takes a while to learn how to do all these things and learn all this stuff. So here, you got to start somewhere. Here's a maxim. Now, because we have something in the contract that says that everything that the government does, we are to benefit. We are the beneficiaries. We are to benefit. There are maxims that don't benefit us. They're applicable to those other countries, right? With the monarchs, with maybe in England they have anywhere else that they have kings and queens and people ruling the subjects. Those don't apply to us. They don't benefit us because they don't apply to us. Okay, so every single thing they do must benefit us. That's an important key term. You guys have to know that. That covers a lot. Because when something does not benefit us, then they cannot do it. They're not authorized to do it. You are not benefiting and you're the beneficiary. See the relationship you have? You're the beneficiary and they're the trustee. They're the servants, the trustee, and you're the beneficiary. Everything they do, the trustee does, must benefit the beneficiary. Okay? So in terms of these maxims, when the legislature writes any paperwork and they do all the little procedures to get them to be, these bills to be enacted, to become law, there are steps, there's formality, there are procedures that have to be obeyed. Now, even when they obey everything and they took care of everything, if they're not in pursuance to our constitutions, they are not law, right? They're void, they're not law. In the same way, if they are vague, if they are ambiguous, if they are uncertain, then they are not law, even though they went through everything. It doesn't matter if the president signed everything. It doesn't matter. They cannot be law because they are uncertain. Everything they write must be certain, must be clear, free of ambiguity. For example, it needs to be clear who it is that they're talking about is supposed to comply with that act. It needs to be clear. Are you talking to me? Are you talking to me? Am I the people you're talking to? You're saying that I'm supposed to obey this statute? Oh, the government, the trucker? Who are you talking about? It has to be clear. If it's uncertain, there is no law. And the attorneys cannot use it as though it's law. And they cannot say, well, it was in the code, so I could use it. It's in the code. No. If it's not certain, they're smart enough to read. If it's not certain, they shouldn't be using it. Because you know what? They're going to be liable too for using a writing that is uncertain, that is not law. Okay? They work all day long, 4 years in university to become lawyers, and yet they don't know the real law. They don't know the real law. No. And then they get rich off of not knowing the real law. Well, that's not right. And then the people that are the purpose for the existence of all the states, of all the governments, the purpose was to benefit us. That's the whole reason why the people, our founding fathers, why the government was created by them, by our founding fathers, which is not just the ones inside, it's all the people, everybody who agreed to doing this. It came from their power. It came from their will only. We did it to benefit us. To benefit us, not benefit government servants. They're giving up. They want to be servants. So if you use this in a properly written notice and an affidavit, then you got it to win. You got it to win because this is the law. And this benefits us. And so be careful when you see other maxims out there because there's so many. And then I found one of them, and I don't have it right here right now, but there I found one that it didn't apply to Americans here. It applied somewhere else. So don't worry about those, okay? Don't let anybody trick you about that. Okay, so this is what it is. Remember, if something is uncertain, it has no force of law. God bless you guys. Love you guys. Bye.